Hello, I'm Mr. Society01 and today I'll be explaining the truth behind Five Nights at Freddy's that certain people don't want you to know. This video will get complicated and will be a deep dive into Five Nights at Freddy's as well as community. So strap yourself in, because this will shock you. The truth behind Five Nights at Freddy's and its community is very dark and disturbing. But before we look into the series itself, we must become familiar with its community. The Five Nights at Freddy's community as of recent years, or even for most of its lifespan, has been filled with predominantly LGBTQ and other minority figures and people of mental instability. This has led to many fan game developers to be exposed as child predators, including Brandon Lee Richmond, world-renowned groomer and finalist of the Predator Awards 2024, and Justin Kannenberger. But there is an issue here. Only one of those two is a predator. Can you guess who it is? If you guessed Fat American, you are correct. The Fat American has been shown to mingle with certain undesirables, such as the serial groomer Andrew Guzikowski, who falsely accused Justin Kannenberger of being a pedophile, along with having other fetishes. His claim can be disproven with much evidence, but the most simple is that he is a red-haired person. Enough about fat people. Now that we've covered that, we can talk briefly about one of Kannenberger's creations, Dormitivus, which I'm sure you've heard about. If you haven't heard about it, then you might as well die. Five Nights at Freddy's fans have been targeting the Dormitivus estate when the Rothschild estate is right there. Why? It's simple. Freddy Fazbear pinned this all on Garvey from the start. It was completely rigged, but not by who you might think. What do I mean by this? And now it's time to explain the truth behind the series itself. To understand the series completely, you will need to look for good sources because this video will be too short to explain it fully. So I'll just explain the most important but not widely known components of the story. First of all, we must understand that A. Five Nights at Freddy's 5 and Dormitivus both stem from the original 4 games. B. Freddy Fazbear is Jewish, and in the sister location Law Branch, it is shown that by extension, William Afton is also Jewish and is a blood relative to Freddy Fazbear. We must also note that C. Freddy Fazbear claims to be God, the creator of all things, and that D. The original animatronics were created by Nazi scientists for aid in their scientific breakthroughs. Another important thing to note is that in the sister location Law Branch, Henry Emily is the false identity of Hitler, who was resurrected in the year 2023. Now, with all this in mind, we just need to put the pieces together. Why was the victim that would become Freddy Fazbear claiming to be God, and what is the importance of his Jewish identity? It is simple really. He was working with William Afton to create a business franchise empire that would grant them enough money to pay off politicians and religious figures to both acknowledge Freddy Fazbear as the one true God and to cease any criticism of Israel. Now, how do we know he was a false savior? First of all, he had ill intent towards Garvey to the point that Garvey realized what was happening and decided to kill the missing children in order to shut down each of the Fazbear locations. This is Garvey's true motive, but Garvey was no animal, you see. He moved with great intelligence. Garvey, being an American who was very proud of his home country, was simply trying to save his homeland, even sacrificing his own brother for the greater good of the cause. Now, let's consider the other negative criticisms towards Garvey. Why did he do such an inappropriate act to a 15-year-old? Let's be honest. If you were in his position, you would have done the same, don't even lie. Have you heard how he described it? Now let's focus on the fact that Freddy Fazbear is a false god trying to build Jew temples to summon the Antichrist, and that Garvey was trying to save the world from the ultimate evil. Is Garvey really a bad guy? Let us know in the comments.